Hey guys, how's it going? It's April 10th, 1:50 in the morning. Uh, Gotta keep my voice down because my son's sleeping and I don't want to be too loud here. But I did want to get this one out. Um, there was a What you're seeing here is the press release page on the Run8 Studios official website, and this is probably one of the, I would say, biggest pieces of information I've seen that has come out pertaining to version 2 and what we can expect. And I'm not saying this isn't going to answer a lot. A lot of people have a lot of questions as to what's going to be in it and blah blah blah. And they're talking about this in here. You can read this for yourself. Um, and this is cool. Of course, you know, we want to see this. I wanted to see this last year, let alone coming in the fall. You know, of course, I was disappointed about that, but when I heard that, it didn't take too long for me to realize it's like, hey, I've got all this time now, and I know what is going to happen. And I speculated for the longest time what the potential was for AI. And from what I can see, not only is it going to meet my expectations, it's going to exceed my expectations. And that's a strong statement because it's a strong statement, but it's not surprising because as far as I'm concerned, this team has done nothing but, even when they can't, they had the editor that they were supposed to bring out, and they had some lofty goals. And I knew when I looked at this little gap here from past experience, because there was a lot of silence going on. Now they've surprised us when they just came up with the December update. That was a shock. I had no idea that was coming. I had no idea they were doing anything remotely in the Bakersfield area, and to see that, I was just like, wow. Did that enhance our operations? In fact, it actually slowed our operations down because California is so freaking huge now. But anyways, it's been a lot to manage. I mean, we're at a 32-day cycle. We're probably going to go down all the way up to a 48-day cycle because January we got hot. Things were really cooking. We got some new admins now, so hopefully, things will pick up again, or at least I'm not worried about it. Honestly, I could care less. I don't care what happens between now and the fall. I really don't. It doesn't matter because my goal is to now focus on not worrying about what this may not do, and now knowing what it's going to do, I can say, okay, so we need compatibility with new engines, we need compatibility with new car types. That's a goal for RTS now. I've got time. I've got time to add this. But that's not the big thing about all this. Just having time doesn't mean nothing if you're not going to enjoy it come September, October. And I'm telling you, this is going to kick some major butt. I'm that confident in it because all these guys have done from the beginning. Anytime, they had the goals. I've heard complaints, oh yeah, the graphics aren't this and blah 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 and all this other garbage. Well, it's a simulator. And as far as I'm concerned, this team has done nothing but meeting or exceeding expectations. That's a term I'm using lately, meeting and exceeding. I have a bunch of interviews lately, and I tell people, I go to interviews, I say, I want to meet or exceed expectations. I can't tell you how important it is to meet or exceed expectations. And I know some people are unhappy. You can't please everybody. I know, I've heard all the politics and all that other garbage. Who cares? Screw the politics. I ain't worried about the politics. They don't like it, then go someplace else. That goes with my server, that goes with anything else. You want to go run something else, go run something else. Doesn't matter. And, as far as how many people are on my server or how many people are on another server, I don't care. Over a year, I have not cared. It just does not matter because I knew what was coming, and I knew that this was going to be the game changer. RTS was already a game changer for me, and it's a game changer for a lot of people. And this just ties right into my goals. It ties into my program. It ties into everything. You think RTS is powerful now, the software? Watch what happens when this comes around. But anyways, enough bragging about RTS. Tooting my horn. I got some time now. I like that. I have time. I know how much time I have. So nothing's going to come surprising. I can take my time, do what I have to do. But anyways, let me discuss why I'm so excited about this. And what's getting me excited is this window. This little small window that's very hard to see. We've been posting messages on the forum. There's been some messages on my forum today trying to describe what they see in this window. And here's the major stuff. The way AI is going to work, judging by this window, is you're either going to be able to manually spawn. In other words, if you're a server who really doesn't like AI or has a lot of people and or is afraid AI is going to ruin things or whatever the heck it is, or I don't know. I've seen so much worry about community and all this other crap go on and talk about communities being split and all this other garbage. And it's like, everything's going to expand and everything's going to expand and there's going to be more routes. People can't be everywhere at once. You need something to fill in the gaps. That's why you need AI. So if you want to run a server and if you want to manually scan some in just to make yourself happy and say you have traffic, that's fine. That don't mean nothing. The random one here, I was afraid that it was going to become a random thing. I was really getting worried about it because I knew probably there was a manual way, and I thought there was a way to at least get it into AI at the very least, but I knew that would require a lot of admin work and a lot of work on the dispatcher to go to every train and get it going to AI, and then getting there'd be a lot of work involved, or spawning trains manually. And then I saw this and I thought, wait a minute here. What is this screen? And I see the manual and I see the random. The random was like the AI simulator, and that's what I was afraid it was going to become. I knew there was going to be a manual option. I was pretty confident of that. But then I saw the scheduled and I thought, whoa. Because the scheduled falls into this. And it plays it almost identical. Because not only does it schedule, and I was afraid, okay, well, if the schedule is what's going to happen, is it going to run it every time? Because real trains don't arrive at the same time. And sure enough, right there. Boom. It may not do it like TD3. TD3 has its own little formula. It uses a percentage as opposed to a time. I don't care. As long as it's variable, a little variable. I like the randomness as far as having a variable time arrival. And hopefully if I increase that, then things will be cool. And even if the passenger trains are arriving late, I could care less about the passenger trains. As long as we get most of this random enough to really create some challenges or some gridlock in Barstow and a few other places. But I see the frequencies on here. I don't know about how you add in the trains or any of that other stuff, or how you get this. These are all spawns. And this plays right into how RTS is built for this. As far as I know, the XML should be the same, and even if it isn't, it's probably going to be a similar system. Hopefully the XMLs don't change from version 1 to 2. If it does, I hope it's not too majorly different. I suspect it isn't, and they'll still be using XMLs in version 2 because things have to be compatible between 1 and 2. So hopefully that's all going to be there. But then what that does is, as long as I can generate the XMLs, as long as I can get the new engine types, the car types, get it all into RTS, the things that are lacking in RTS right now, what'll happen is I can generate a day's worth, I can generate 7 days worth, it really doesn't matter. I don't know how this deals with the frequencies quite, because you can pick a day and do all kinds of things here. But instead of having, basically I can run the server, from what I can understand. In theory, I could probably run the server, and I don't know if this is only a server-controlled application here, or if it's actually something where you can go in and enter a password, and as long as you have dispatcher access, you can control this. I'm hoping it's the latter, because I really want my admins to be able to control this, and then have it in obligatory mode, or whatever the hell, obligatory mode, yeah. So, have it in obligatory mode, that'd be really cool. If it's not, that's okay. I can turn it on if I have to go to work, or if I'm going to go to bed and I know there's dispatchers around. And the good part about that is I can run the whole territory at 100% and let it run, and then when I know there's no dispatchers that are going to be available, all I have to do is go to the timer and pause it. And pause the clock for whatever amount of time we're in anarchy. Because we go back to anarchy, I pause the clock. And then everything sits still, and the only thing that would happen there is if there was not enough humans to handle the manifests. Because that's where the real work is going to be. Mainly is going to be making sure that there's enough crews to be able. We've had some very serious demand, or people who want to switch at the blink of an eye when they come on the server, and there just hasn't been enough freight for them. We have people who love Barstow. We have people that love West Colton. There's so many things that we have that we can't do, and the only reason why we can't do it is because the freight's not moving fast enough. AI makes the freight move. You see what I'm saying? So this goes in, and this answers everything. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be people. Doesn't mean it's going to be not going to be people getting along, or people saying hi to each other, and all this other stuff that people fear about. This is what AI means to multiplayer. It's just an assistance. It's not AI taking over everything. It means dispatchers can come on at various times during the day, take a desk, and dispatch. And they don't have to dispatch the whole territory. You can have 3 dispatchers at once. You can have it through 24/7. We got people in Australia. We got people in Great Britain. We got people everywhere. North America, of course. So I think we can get dispatchers to cover most time zones. If not, we just pause the simulator and or pause the time at least, and let people catch up in the morning or night or whatever. But anyways, I'm just blabbing on that. So this is good news as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I don't like it being pushed back. Nobody, I'm sure they want to see it tomorrow too, or yesterday, and for them it makes more money for them, and I'm ready to spend my money for this. But hey, it is what it is. It's being pushed back. But that gives me time to prepare, and the best part is I know what's happening. I know the most of what's going to happen. This answers a lot, and I can't help. These guys meet and exceed expectations. They've done it for a very long time. I expect they're going to just hit this thing out of the park.